Travis Platt! The GOAT! Bro, I just watched your Dance Gavin Dance review and I loved it. You did a review of Creature Part 2 and I fucking love it. I really love your stuff. I subscribed a while back. I'm hoping, you don't have to, don't feel obligated, but I would love for you to do a review of this album and be very honest and critical of what you think. I really dig your content. If anybody in here is into alternative music reviews, check out my boy Travis. He's in the comments.
How's it going, everybody? This is Travis Platt Reviews, and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new album by alternative artist Guardin. So that's it, huh? If you're new to the channel, here at Travis Platt Reviews, my goal is to highlight the best of the underground, in any genre from rap, to pop punk, to metal. So, if you like what you hear, please consider subscribing and turning on post notifications. Also, be sure to give this video a like, and comment below if there's another album that you'd like me to review. Also, I've been way more active on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok lately, so if you want more from me, you can go ahead and follow me on all three. It is at Travis Platt Reviews. Links will also be in the description below. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. Guardin's an alternative rap artist who combines elements of emo rap, alternative, indie, and many other styles, creating his own original style, which is mainly focused around his earnest and vulnerable lyrics, discussing mental health, love, loss, and the overall human experience. He began with creating electronic instrumental tracks in the mid-2010s, and gradually evolved into creating emo rap songs, which is most evident in his 2017 album Lacuna, his first major album. After that release, Guardin rode the wave of the success of emo rap, and artists such as Convolk, Guccihighwaters, and many more gained success over a very short amount of time. In 2018, two major factors contributed to Guardin becoming a household name in the underground scene. The first being the release of his song I Think You're Really Cool, which became a massive hit due to its popularity on the app TikTok in 2019.
See that look in your eye, sucks that I'm not your guy, but...
The second was his collaboration with Convolk and Ninetales on the track Whatever It Takes, which that very song launched the underground scene into the mainstream. If you'd like to see me do a video on this specifically, go ahead and comment below. Since 2018, Guardin has evolved his sound, more so than anyone in his respective scene. No longer has his music been considered emo rap, and now it is balancing many different styles and influences, and there really isn't anyone making music like Guardin right now. And this unique style has allowed Guardin to have over 1.2 million monthly listeners on Spotify alone as of recording. Guardin released two EPs, Creature Part 1 and Creature Part 2, the first being released in 2019 and the second being released in January 2020, which was actually the first album I ever reviewed on this channel. And the second part's lead single, Alive, was remixed, including a feature by pop artist Paris.
Get up and drive, go 65, no destination inside of my mind.
And the title track, Creature, was remixed by the band Sauce.
Cause I don't know shit, I said fuck it and made it work out, I'm a mess, I guess.
Guardin tends to go against the common practice in his scene, which is uploading songs extremely consistently. Instead, Guardin goes for quality over quantity, and the album we are reviewing today has been long awaited. So, is it worth the hype? It's no stranger that Guardin is one of my favorite artists of all time. He was my most listened to artist of 2020, and Creature Part 2 was the first album I ever reviewed on this channel. I also am an admin of the Guardin Creature Posting Facebook group, which will be linked in the description. There is something very special about Guardin's songwriting, with an amount of cleverness and radiating energy, but it strongly contrasts with the subject matter of the lyrics. A prime example of this is the track I Wonder.
I guess this is true, crying at the crib on a Friday afternoon. It's just how I live, spent the day up in my room.
And Creature.
2017 was the year that tilted kick. The bucket underneath my feet is sliding to the pit.
This is something that has become a mainstay of his sound, where previously things were a lot more blunt and depressive. But with both Creature EPs, we got a different side of him, and I love both styles. Guardin also puts on an excellent live show, as I've seen him twice. The first was at the Lizard Lounge in Lancaster, PA with Carousel Kings, The Breathing Backwards, and Pullin' Daisies. And the second was at the Foundry in Cleveland with Lund, Guccihighwaters, and Corey Wells. Both were incredible performances, and there is such a wholesome energy revolving around Guardin. Anywhere from his famous water chants to when he FaceTimes his girlfriend from on stage. Guardin has always resonated with me as a pure person with personal struggles, commonly with anxiety, night terrors, and other struggles. But those don't dictate who he is as a person. Instead, they're just things that he has to deal with. And by creating music discussing these topics, he is able to help others struggling with similar problems facing their lives. Guardin seemingly has a one-on-one connection with his fans, as he commonly interacts with them, hosts live streams so he can talk to them, and he reposts work from his fans. And I've witnessed this firsthand when he talked about my channel on his album release live stream, and it's still mind-blowing to me that one of my biggest musical and creative inspirations is a fan of my channel. Going into this album, I had very high expectations. So, were they met? This album had 3 singles. The first single is Kinda Sorta, the second track on the album. And this is one of the most interesting songs on the album. I remember my first listen, I wasn't huge on this song for some reason, but it's grown on me 100 times over. The very catchy vocal hook is infectious, and the repetitive synth hook is super fun. It's a new direction for Guardin, and it feels easier to listen to for casual fans compared to his earlier work, even if the lyrical style we know and love is still there. The second single is Hope Again, the 6th song on the album, and this is Guardin at his best. We get a style similar to Creature Part 2, with a spacious, airy instrumentation with the emo-inspired vocals, but there's also a more rap-inspired second verse before jumping into that vocal layering that Guardin has pioneered, with a lot of inspiration from emo bands of decades prior. This song is super floaty, and lyrically, it talks about a relationship, and feeling whole when you are around that person, and sometimes feeling lost, like you're losing individuality in the relationship. But you know you are where you're supposed to be, and you try to get away from those doubts that your head may still try to fill you with. A lot of times when someone feels good, their brain tries to sabotage itself, to put you back into a negative situation. But stepping back and realizing this is the best step in preventing a sabotage from taking place. And that's really my entire perception of the lyrics here.
She makes some feel like I'm in my head.
The third and final single is The Cycle, the 11th track on the album, and this is one of my favorite tracks. I love the melancholic energy of the song and the line,
Chaotic, but Jesus Christ, you're beautiful.
It's truly haunting. Lyrically, this is arguably the most introspective and complicated song he has ever written, talking about the thought that everything you have ever said has been a lie, and the idea of growing up and getting caught in the residuals of life. It is a beautiful song, and that can bring out the emotion in just about anyone. Let me just say, wow, is this album good. This album works as a perfect departure of the emo rap genre, but instead of abandoning it completely, it is blended with many other genres. The first deep cut on the album, On the Road, features a strong rap flow with a nice trap instrumental. And the feature by Chaz M is very solid as well, with not much variation from Guardin's verse. The track Make It Out is one of my personal favorites, with a nice repetitive chorus, but a very mellow energy to it, and a reference to the post-hardcore band Dance Gavin Dance, which is one of my favorite bands of all time.
I was listening to DJ digging, it was raining. Now voices in my head been asking, what are you complaining about?
The second verse talks about Guardin and how smoking makes him panic, something that has been mentioned by him in live streams. It must be difficult to openly state you don't smoke when in the music scene it is so normalized. But taking initiative to care for yourself is something very important. Another very clever song lyrically is Willow Ave, which features Sewer Person and Lil Narnia. Sewer Person and Guardin have not worked together since Whatever It Takes, when Sewer Person still performed as Ninetales. And I've done several videos on Sewer Person, and I'm a huge fan of his music. And Lil Narnia has been one of my favorite artists lately, with his album Pain Extract being well done, and his work with Young Scuff has been amazing. The chorus of Willow Ave is just so well written, and the closing line of the chorus hits in a way I could not even fathom putting into words. The percussion of the song is also super well orchestrated, and the features were such an amazing addition. Sewer Person starts with a little bit of energy, but mellows out before building up to Narnia's explosive, emotional performance, discussing social isolation, time flying, and feeling hopeless in this year. The album takes a huge turn after Hope Again, and it gets very dark. The track Luminary has a ton of layers to it, and can be a bit overwhelming, but it has grown on me a ton after repeated listens. I really notice something new each time I listen to it. Falling Out the Window reminds me of his album Outsider, so much. This makes a lot of sense because Guardin himself produced this track, and he did a great job with it. The song talks about falling back into his previous routines. He mentions in the song that he smoked again just to deal with the pain. This year has been difficult for many people, and it has caused many people to evaluate their lives, and it's been a struggle for so many. And sometimes it feels like falling out the window. Daisies brings back a little bit of energy with a great feature from Flowers, who shows his excellent vocals in the track. One thing that was mentioned in Guardin's livestream was that Flowers had COVID when he recorded his feature. I couldn't imagine that somebody could sing so well while having an illness like that. Just excellent work by Flowers. Check him out if you haven't already. The dark energy returns for the tracks Cuba Lake and The Cycle, but the energy does sort of return on output, before a voicemail from his mother plays, telling him that his song was on the radio. This song tackles a lot, talking about life and death, and that life is too short to make bad decisions, but we can all change and be better one step at a time. There is one lyric that describes this album, and it's the last line on the entire album. This album talks about life, death, and the struggle in between in such a way that we continuously fight for more, instead of accepting what we have, struggles and all. Overthinking is a sickness, and we constantly want to push for something better, when in reality, what we have is pretty good. But we just have to remind our minds of that. Guardin released an album transitioning his sound at a very pivotal point in both his life, career, and the lives of all of us in a year full of uncertainty and negativity. Thanks for watching.